Alrighty, so I tried to keep this kind of high level, simple. I know I got 15 minutes. We're going to talk first half of the 15 over the foundation, just kind of general. So there's the foundation. Just I want to look at the difference between the fraternity and the foundation. So they're two separate connected organizations. So the fraternity is the collegiate chapters, alumni chapters, the member-based organization. It operates as a regular company, provides brotherhood, development, service, and social programs, and cannot receive tax deductible donations. So that's the fraternity organization. The foundation, total separate on paper organization, 501c3 organization. Purpose is to raise, manage, distribute funds to support the Delta Sigma Pi's educational and leadership development programs. It's governed by a board of trustees, and donations to the Leadership Foundation are tax deductible. So that's the sometimes people don't understand the difference between the foundation and the fraternity. So I always like to kind of go to the basics, simple, two different organizations. Foundation raises the money so we can provide it to the fraternity so we can provide educational professional opportunities. High level, simple. Now the relationship between both entities. So they're two separate legal entities with different boards, different budgets, different financial structures. The Leadership Foundation exists to financially support the fraternity's educational and programming events. The foundation does not run fraternity events. It funds the educational portions of them. Sometimes people don't understand that the foundation has nothing to do with deciding what programs the fraternity does. In any means, that's the fraternity's board to make those decisions. The foundation's mere job is to raise money to give it to the fraternity so the fraternity can do those things. And I know the foundation has had, challenges or trouble making sure that we understand that. We're our sole job is just to raise the money and give it to the fraternity, let the fraternity make those decisions. Sometimes we want to do it in certain ways, and that's not really part of our scope. Our scope is just to raise the money and give it to the fraternity. And then we have this management agreement between the foundation and the fraternity, where the foundation pays a certain amount of money every year annually to provide administrative support and staffing for the foundation's day-to-day work. We have three kind of staff members that are foundation staff members, but they're really employed by the fraternity side. And we have this management agreement with the fraternity where it allows us to pay for their salaries, their benefits, all that. It's Shanda, Joe, and Teresa are our three main employees. The agreement also kind of exists to account for accounting services and some other marketing and some other services are kind of rolled up into there, where we pay an annual fee to do that for those services. All right, so how does the Leadership Foundation use donor money? So how do we use the money that we collect? I kind of look at it. There's three kind of high level key areas of financial support that the foundation does. And like I said, I try to keep it simple. You can dive into this in even more detail, but I try to look at it at a high level when I'm trying to explain it to individuals. The first area is scholarships. We've given funded by endowments and donor restricted gifts. Many individuals have set up their own scholarship for a specific chapter, a specific region, different province. There's some national scholarships. So all those are funded by individuals who have set up funds or endowments for those scholarships. Awarded to collegiate and alumni brothers for academic achievement and leadership. The second kind of area bucket I have, which is kind of a big bucket here, is designated or restricted funds. And these are donors can give to a specific chapter leadership fund. So the chapter leadership funds kind of fall into this bucket. Name funds for endowment. I know Claire's on here. We've got the volunteer, the leadership fund that we have. We've got other funds. We have the Black Leadership Fund. There's several other different funds that are set up that we use that are kind of fall into this bucket. These funds directly benefit the chapter or program chosen by the donor. And then the third bucket is the fraternity grant. So every year, the foundation provides an annual grant to the fraternity. The grant provides leadership educational programs such as lead schools, summits, provincial or lead provincial conferences, grand chapter congresses, or the President's Academy, and more, and other volunteer training activities as well. Every year that the fraternity, oh, and I spelled fraternity wrong there. I was doing this quick. That's a really bad spelling too. But the fraternity grant is actually the fraternity board kind of comes together during their budget process and determines this is what this is how much we would like to request from the foundation. They kind of present that to us. We kind of work hand in hand with it. It comes to the foundation. We look at that. We go, do we have the means to support this? And then we vote on it. They vote on it, and then it gets and that's how the kind of the grant goes. And then I also want to talk about why unrestricted giving matters for Delta Sigma in the Delta Sig Fund. It provides flexibility, allows the foundation to use funds wherever they are most needed, supports core programs, helps fund the annual fraternity grant. So much of that money to the fraternity grant, which was around $250,000 last year, comes from the Delta Sig Fund or unrestricted funds. And then it also covers essential operations, the expenses of the foundation, such as the costs required to run the foundation effectively, which is really the management agreement fee. So it's really important to have unrestricted giving. And I always, when I talk to individuals, I try to encourage them, if they've got a passion and they've been giving to a certain fund or whatever, that's great. I'm never going to say no to money. But I try to encourage those to, if they could give whatever they're going to give every year, if they could give 50% of their money to one of the restricted funds and then 50% to the Delta Sig Fund, that would be very beneficial to the foundation. Just to give you an example, I pull in the September financial statements for the foundation, and the foundation is done with the market has done really well. Our total assets are about 7.2 million almost right now. Now of that 7.2, 6 million of that is restricted money that I can't really touch for much. It's used to pay the scholarships, the different grants, things that we do. But I can't use any of that money to pay for regular operating costs of the foundation. So that leaves me about $1.2 million left that we've got kind of available. But when you dig a little bit deeper into that, about $500,000 of that is really on our balance sheet as pledges receivable. And so that's $500,000 you kind of take away there. So it leaves me with less than 500,000 or so left, roughly, of kind of unrestricted money that I could use for these things. So that's why it's very important that we do what we can to ensure that we continue to have funds go to the Delta Sig Fund as well as our other programs or other funds.